hit the record button, and I'm going to get this thing live on the Facebooks.
Exciting. Be live on Facebook as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Queen's Gambit.
It is in my queue. I am trying to I'm trying to get to that. I try not to watch TV unless I am working out, and so I don't get to go through as much TV as I would really like to.
Well, if you watch it with your wife, my wife got super into chess immediately after watching Queen's Gambit. It's just like Suits. They can make chess look interesting because they cut out the 5 hours of them pondering over moves. They're just like, yeah, move. It's
exactly.
Like Suits. They skip over the 12 hours looking through contracts.
An interesting stat that I read is that keyword searches for chess on eBay were up 250%. And I want to say that it's that much, or how to play chess on Google is that much or more since the Queen's Gambit came out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Chess is fun. It's just you have to really like it. You get into chess for a couple of years and then people fall out. That's what I noticed. But it's really fun. I'd love to play Andy in chess, John.
Oh yeah, you should.
She would not like to lose to me.
Andy's my wife.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got it going here.
Awesome.
There we go. Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. Happy Friday evening. I hope that you guys have absolutely crushed the week and are ready to continue it, because Q4 does have, well, I mean, heck, Q4 goes into January, so it's really got another month before we hit the dreaded Returnuary next year. But this evening, I've got Brian Patterson. You may know Brian Patterson. He was the former proprietor of Leads on Location, which is still an incredible lead list because of what he did with that. And we've also got John Cavendish, who is the gentleman who's going to be talking most of the evening. And he is easily 7-figure seller on Amazon, right? And you do mostly private label, right?
Yeah, mostly private label and consulting now as well. So full service consulting and private label.
Perfect. And so this evening, we are going to talk about being able to outsource and get rid of all of the seller support and seller central tasks that make us want to throw our computers against the wall, and all of the mind-numbing managerial rigmarole, if you will, and not have to hire, train, or do anything like that. And that's what John and Brian are going to chat with us about tonight. So, John, I am going to throw the hosting over to you, and then I'm just going to sit back and listen to what you guys have to say. So, go ahead and do that. All right.
Perfect.
And thanks for doing this tonight, guys. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime. Thanks for having us. I'm just going to also hit record. So we're both recording. Cool. All right. I'll share my screen.
Here we go.
Perfect. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
I can see.
Awesome. So, this presentation is about outsourcing your Seller Central workload without employees or VAs. So, it's going to be presented by me and Brian, and we'll dive into a bit about who we are in a minute. But it's not a super long webinar. It's really to tell you about our service because, we've worked with Chris before. There's a few changes on this webinar from the last one, but our aim really is to just tell you how it works because we know we're adding value and we want to support people through our service. Okay, so our promise is to help you become the owner, not the operator. So we see we talk to a lot of people and everyone wants to become the owner of their business eventually, or most people want to become the owner, but we're all stuck in operator mode. And there's a stepping stone between being the operator and being the owner, which we call being the leader. And through Seller Candy, we want to empower people to become the leader of their business So they can be working on their business, leading it, and then eventually becoming the owner once they scale their team big enough to have a smart, expensive team who can do all of the thinking for them.
So let me comment on that, John. Oh,
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So becoming the, I mean, everyone's of course you're the owner of your business. But then when Monday morning comes and you wake up, you're the operator again. And so that's the difference between the owner and operator. Because of course you're the owner, but doing that Monday morning, start over again, that's what the operator is, and that's what you should be doing less of. So.
Cool, thanks, Brian. And if you could pull your mic a bit closer, then you'll be a bit louder. Cheers.
It's done.
Yeah, a bit better. Cool. So what's the deal? Number one, we're going to show you what sellers are doing when the workload gets too much and what problems these can cause and become overwhelming. Then we're going to offer you a peek into our unique process and how we solve this barrage of issues coming at us continuously and strategically. And then we're going to make you an outstanding offer because it's a webinar and because you're Chris's audience. So please stay till the end and then we'll make you our offer. So we believe that focus gives us power. Like, we've all been distracted, as Chris said, like going to the gym, trying to watch TV, trying to get our attention pulled in like 3 different directions at the same time. And we want to be focused 100% on this for the next 20 minutes. We'll get through. We want to give you the maximum amount of value possible. And after that, you can go and watch The Queen's Gambit or Mandalorian. I still haven't caught up on Mandalorian. So who are we? I'm John. I'm from the UK, but I've been living in Vietnam for the last 5 years. And actually, we're supposed to be going back to Europe this year, but COVID. So me and Brian both kind of stuck in Vietnam, happy to be in Vietnam. I founded Ecom DNA, which is a full service marketing agency. Through our own businesses, we've solved around over $5 million across Europe and the US, and a couple $100,000 consulting per month, depending on the month. I've run Amazon marketing businesses for the last 5 years, and our claim to fame through one of our own businesses is we did 100K sales in the first 14 days on a brand new SKU. And I'm also an avid traveler and Tony Robbins fan. Tony Robbins just did their first virtual date with Destiny last week. So me and my wife stayed up 14 hours a day in EST to attend the event, which was pretty intense.
Yeah, I can attest that you were busy all week, all day, all night. Okay, so my name is Brian Patterson, and as Chris mentioned, I founded Leads on Location, which is an online arbitrage sourcing list. And I ran that for multiple years, and we built a team of over 10 people. And in 2018, I actually exited that and sold it to a nice gentleman in California who's running it to this day with the same team plus more. And we drove tens and tens of millions in sales. I don't know if it reached 100, but I tried to do the math. So my specialty is in automation and preparing for exit, and I've done it myself, and I've helped others do it. But that's kind of what my specialty is, and that's kind of what we're doing here is trying to get that advanced team automation. A couple other things about me is I love Amazon. I love helping sellers and helping people get their time back. So I have a couple different softwares that I've created, and some of them are still running. We have lots of users still to this day, and some of them are multiple years old and still working, which is great. And before Amazon, I worked many years in the financial world. I was a stockbroker, and I left a cushy job to come to Amazon, and my life is much better now. So I love it, and that's me.
Thanks, Brian. So onto the content. So what's this presentation about? We all know that we want to delegate, so let's talk about it. So we know we want to outsource, now what? So I just talked about Tony Robbins, all about beliefs, but what beliefs stop sellers from making the move to outsourcing? So we're going to dive in to some of the most common beliefs which hold us back from getting to the next level and outsourcing. Belief number 1. So this is the full timer. So I used to feel like this, and I felt like this in the past, basically thinking that I needed a full-time employee to deliver this level of service that I needed in my business. Like basically thinking that I wanted somebody who's available 24/7, 365 days a year to solve my tasks, and solve my stuff and my issues on Seller Central. But the realization that I had when I started hiring these people is that actually a full-time employee isn't available 24/7 unless you've got somebody who is so internally motivated that they have to be available 24/7, which are unicorns, and you can find those people, but very hard to find and usually expensive. So what I needed was somebody who was task-driven, knew how to do everything, and basically always available. And I realized I couldn't have that with a single employee. So, that was the big change for me. Can I add to that, Brian?
Yeah, it's not just 365 days a year. It's 8 hours a day. It's figuring out what they're doing. When I want to get something done, I kind of think, all right, well, getting someone to do it or hiring someone, you have to have that whole system in place just to get something taken care of. When you don't need 40 hours or 50 hours a week of grinding, what you need is 5 or 10 hours of pointed work. Someone knows what they're doing and just crushing stuff, so that you can avoid doing that 5 to 10 hours that you know how to do quickly. Instead of getting bogged down, with a full-time employee it's a lot of work for you,
Yeah, exactly. And as Brian knows, I'm not the best manager whatsoever. Brian's a far better manager than I am. So belief number 2, that I used to have and we used to have together. So, which is all that everyone has a unique business. And, our businesses are unique. We add our unique value, which is one of the ways that we can scale more quickly. But part of that unique value, in my opinion, my hallucination is that it's mindset. So delegating work requires us to teach someone the ins and outs of our business, but that's not the reality that we found on Amazon. Like, the reality we found on Amazon is that if you're working inside Seller Central, it's the same tasks that come up every single time. The same issues, the same problems. Amazon's, got an IP claim. Somebody else has jumped onto the listing and they've sold it for like 10% of our sales price. So now Amazon suppressed that listing for us, so that there's all these little things that mount up, especially when we're doing arbitrage, that just become things like, oh, I've got this list of listings which Amazon's saying aren't buy box eligible. But when we dive into it, nobody's buy box eligible because of Amazon's, algorithmic changes. So these are all little things which we let run to the wayside once we have hundreds of SKUs. But in reality, all add money to the business and all the things which we should be getting solved.
I mean, a lot of those are basically all those issues you made. If you have the energy to go through them one by one, it just totally demotivates you because you get canned responses back and you don't know, okay, I've got 10 issues open and they're just sending me copy and paste. Do I continue? Do I go? What exactly do I do? So what we've seen is when I'm selling my own account, everything's like, I'm in the Facebook forums and I'm searching because anyone's seen anything like this. And now that I'm doing agency level work and we've got many brands, it's the same issues over and over. I had 2 weeks ago, we had a really concerned client that wanted to get signed up really fast because he had like 3 or 4 dire issues that just couldn't get it done. And he's like, listen, I need specialists. Like, are you experts? And I took the list of things he needed done and I reviewed it with my team leader and he just laughed. He goes, why are you asking me this? This is what we're doing every day. I kind of just laughed because it is amazing that even the most dire problems, Amazon is almost like algorithmically blanketing people in these problems and sending the same responses. So for something like a canned response, I mean, our team's going to know if it's a canned or if it's the real answer much quicker because we've seen it over and over. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And belief 3, the micromanager. And I've been guilty of this, and actually like management by paralysis. So actually trying to find, interview, hire, train, retrain, and then stress myself out from not having all the training like materials in place, and drive myself crazy, which I did during Tony Robbins while hiring somebody during that week, which was the worst idea ever. But in general, like having to have all of these steps in the, of this, like finding somebody, interviewing somebody, hiring somebody, training somebody, and then retaining them and managing them and making them into an engaged employee is such a lot of work. And that's why
that sentence made me tired. Each one of these steps, because I do them all the time, if you get to one of them, if you get successful and you get to one of them and you have uncertainty or you fail, you're back to scratch all over again. If you find, interview, hire, train, and you're in the middle of a training session and it's been 6 weeks and they're not sure, and you have a bad training session, you just sit back in your chair and you're like, okay, do I keep this person? Do I keep trying? You need to like find the energy and find the motivation again. And so each one of those is a whole can of worms. Yeah, I just want to add some context to that job. The sentence made me tired.
Yeah, Brian's the expert at it. And yeah, I mean, the thing is about the micromanager is we don't need to be micromanagers. The skill set exists in the marketplace. I mean, it does exist and it's expensive, but it's hard to find. But we've packaged it here. So, you know, somewhere you can go and give outcomes to, and you can get to the outcome that you're really looking for.
When you say the skill set exists in the marketplace, what you're talking about is Amazon trained expert VAs, that you can find easily. And most of those are built, not found.
Yeah, and it's all about, I mean, for me personally, like hiring A players, it's all about their emotional motivation. Like trying to find somebody who's emotionally motivated to deliver without being coerced into it. And they're the hardest people to find, and you don't know unless you've got one for the first couple of months, until they're messaging you at 9 p.m. on a Friday saying, this isn't solved. What should I do about this? You know, basically, the really, really good people. So, which belief do you think is holding you back the most? So if we could get some participation, 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. 1, the full-timer, 2, the unique business, or 3, the micromanager. It'll really help us tailor the rest of the presentation and dive into specifically some of those things.
I'm a big 3 right there.
Me too. I'm a 3.
Yeah, I think we all become 3s over time unless we have a really good management structure in place. And that's what really helped me with that was the E-Myth. Also some 2s, some 3s. Pauline, Steve, cool. Shani, awesome. Thanks everyone. All right, should we dive in? Yeah, and also I see a couple of questions popping up in the Q&A. So once we've been through the rest, we'll dive into any questions at the end. And yeah, we're happy to stay at the end and answer as many questions as you guys have got. Go. So let's show you how it's done. Who's excited?
Oh,
Brian's excited.
Yes, always.
So what you get, this is how it's done. So we do anything inside Seller Central. So that's any Seller Central task, issue, or case that Amazon, that you have with Amazon. What that really means is that's opening and resolving all types of cases. That's following up on cases repeatedly. So aiming for an outcome rather than aiming for the canned response that Amazon gives you when you actually raise something to them.
Instead of opening a case and then waiting for a response and going through the whole, you tell us this is what I want, or this case is already opened, and then let me know when it's resolved. And so we're the one dealing with the canned responses and the confusing responses and emailing, calling, doing whatever's necessary to push to the closest we can get to the outcome as possible. Where all you've done is said, hey, check this out. So it's like it goes from a whole energy depleting thing to a one-step process.
Yeah, and we have a smart team as well. So they can also read between the lines. They can figure out what your issue is, and they can confirm things if they need to. So we do all types of reports, including quarterly reimbursement reports and requesting all refunds due. So this can be a really big thing for some of our clients. You know, our biggest client, I think they got back $4,500 the first time we ran these reports for them. So this can be a real way of getting money back from Amazon. So these are the things that when Amazon gets the return, waits the 40 days, then doesn't reimburse you, or they don't receive the return from the customer. And yeah, this really adds up over time.
It's like the service Getita, or there's a couple of other services that will charge you. They'll charge you 25% or 30% of your returns, and that's just part of what we do as included with our service. So there's no charges. You get all the money we get back goes right to you. And depending on your sales, how high your sales is, many customers get their first month wiped out if they haven't done any reimbursements up for the year yet. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, our aim is to get you back as much money as possible. We also do listing optimization reports as part of our, so when we onboard you, we do a full audit of the account, and we also do listing optimization reports at the same time. So we dive in and see if there's any problems with your major listings, any recommendations we can make on improvements. we sometimes find that especially wholesalers and some resellers have a lot of inventory of a listing which is terrible quality. And we don't always recommend you petition Amazon to change listings, but it can be a way of really increasing volume, just getting Amazon to fix these terrible listings.
And when I was when I was selling more, I really didn't even attempt to change those. I can have 1,000 units of something, and because I'm not the owner, I don't know how to do I didn't know how to do flat files and stuff. I wouldn't even try, so I just keep selling it until it's gone. And now what the results we're having with clients are we try to force updates to those listings and make the bullet points benefit driven, not be longer, and all the things that we can do to edit a listing. If you've got a lot of if you're reordering it, or if you've got a lot of units, it makes sense to try to increase the conversion and the traffic. So that's really a great benefit.
And then once we've done that, we can fix all types of listing errors, whether that's buy box issues, pricing errors, shipping problems, like any issue you have on your account, you can raise to us and we will get you to an outcome, hopefully to the outcome you want.
Yeah, suppress listings, suspended listings, anything goes wrong with your listing. This is kind of a short list here, but if anything goes wrong with it, that's why we were there.
Exactly. And then we can do nearly any task in Seller Central. So we know how to do it and we know how to get the best strategic result. And sometimes just knowing how is the key. Brian added that one because basically it's the way you communicate with Amazon sometimes is the way to get to the result. And sometimes we don't want to communicate with Amazon. We just want to create a flat file and upload it and just force things through the system. And having that skill set on our team is super valuable to us for that.
And when you get an issue, many times if just one normal seller doesn't know all these issues and so where it might take an expert 15 minutes and they won't know where to go, it could take you 45 minutes of just meandering around, and then you got to ask somebody. And so the difference between it's a normal task that I know how to do, and thinking, all right, we have this issue, what do we do? The difference between that is a lot of time. So
and Brian sees this every single day. I separate myself from it every single day. So how is this done? Let's see. 2, so you have up to 3 open task requests simultaneously. So what that means is simple. We work on a task-based system, and we give you one business day turnaround for anything that you submit to us. Three things at a time means that we're working on 3 different things at the same time. So this could be one long-term thing, which has been an issue that you've been trying to fix for ages. We find we tend to get to results pretty quickly on those things because we know what we're doing. But sometimes one case can stay open longer than the others. And then the other 2 cases are free for us to just churn out tasks on a day-to-day basis. So that means that you submit something to us, you get a response within 1 business day, but usually much, much faster. That's just our guarantee. And we get you to an outcome as quickly as humanly possible. Some Amazon support cases, or a lot of Amazon support cases, require repeated effort. So solving this issue sometimes takes more time, sometimes takes less time, but we can develop different strategies based on urgency. And you can also prioritize certain cases above others if you really want to get to an outcome quickly. And we just keep on following up on the more difficult issues until we get to the real outcome that you're looking for. And shorter and easier issues are fixed quickly.
Yeah, 3 tasks open is definitely plenty of flexibility. We could be doing all your reimbursements. We could have some type of claim that we're working on, and you're doing daily tasks, every day or 2. So plenty of flexibility with the amount.
And if you do have a very, very large account, we always recommend everyone tests with the 3 tasks first, and we can go from there. But we've got accounts now doing $20 million a year, and they're still starting out on that, and we're still getting them the results they want for that currently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes we find that the bigger ones, they'll say, okay, well, let's double it. But that is really rare.
That's very rare, yeah. So 1 business day turnaround. So Monday to Friday. So I did say we've got clients doing 20 million. We've got clients doing also 15K a month. So we have a very wide range of clients, and it really depends. Like when you're in 20 million, you've got a team of 20 people. It's a different level of integration you want with your team compared to 1 person starting out who wants us to support them. And they're both perfectly good use cases for who we work with. All right, so 1 business day turnaround. So we'll have issues turn around quickly as soon as possible. We have a custom web portal for tasks and communications. So that means you can log in, You submit things to us. You submit what ASIN it is or what the main issue is, description of the issue, anything you've done thus far, and you can drag and drop any files in if there's anything that particularly needs to be added.
Yeah, it's super simple, super clean. Pop right in. You have the requests that are open right there, and in each one, there's a little thread about what's happened. So super clean way to communicate with our team. So.
And you also get emails when we update something, so you don't have to be logging in 24/7. As Brian usually says, our strategy is that you just swing by for 5 minutes a day, check your account with us. Anything that you need to respond on, you respond. If not, we're just out there solving issues for you. So you also get a full team. So you're not just getting one person, you're getting a super skilled technical team who are also working while you sleep. That's one benefit of us having our team together here, the other side of the world, is that while you're asleep, we are working. So you can submit something, next day, the aim is that it's solved or at least responded to. And we also have transparent and respectful team players. So what that means is that we want to, our team is transparent. I mean, they'll communicate the real issue. They're not going to sugarcoat it, but also they're respectful, will suggest what we can do. We're always trying to work towards a solution for you.
There are
some of our company values.
There are problems and issues with every business that you could sweep under the rug and that you could not address. But the culture of our team and the people we have working, they don't do that. So there's really transparent. So if you got an issue and it's really weird, we'll tell you exactly what we would do if this was our own account and what we recommend, and just kind of put all our cards on the table for your results. So.
Exactly. And you also get a direct email address of me and Brian, should there be any major issues. So whether it's something strategic we need to jump on a call on, or whether it's something that's more complicated than we can go through on the communication, that's very rare. But some of our head team members are also jumping on calls with clients as well. But yeah, it's just a value add, and we don't expect it to be something that's needed very often, but it's a way of you having access to a strategic resource that you can call on whenever you need it. So that's how we work. So how much is this worth? So let's review what you get. You get the unlimited Amazon Seller Central problem solved. You get a full account audit, which we touched on, and powerful reports. So when we onboard you, we first get access to your account. We'll talk about that in a minute. We then do a full audit and then have another call reviewing. These are the main point. These are the good things. These are the bad things. These are what we think you can improve with your account. The really cool thing about that is, this is just a value add. We want to add massive value to your business when working with us immediately. So we do reimbursements in this. So our aim is to add at least our monthly fee in value for the first month, and maybe more than that in terms of actually getting you money back or suggesting things which can save you money.
We get a lot of offers to do the account audit just for a one-time fee, but we don't do it. But I think
have to charge more than we charge for our monthly fee.
I probably bet it would be more than our monthly fee to do that.
Yeah, the amount of time we put into it, for sure. You get a team of professionals behind you, and basically you can skip all the human resources, time, and expenses. So let's add it up. So what's the value here? So we've all, me and Brian have done this multiple times. Finding or hiring assistants, we use headhunting services, that type of thing, because we want to find the best people. But $500 to $1,000 every time. You can use something like online jobs and spend tens of hours of your own time, or you can use a service and they'll charge you this kind of money. Employing a remote virtual assistant, if you find somebody cheap in the developing world, $400 to $1,000. Our people range higher than that because they're headhunted and they're also the best people that we can find. Training time. So this is 10 to 100 hours per person, and this is also ongoing training time. And this is our time as the business owner. So hopefully as the business owner, we're valuing our time at something. $50 an hour would be a minimum, hopefully a lot more than that. So that's $500 to $5,000 worth of our own time in training somebody. Managing communication time, so as well as stress and mental drain, which I think is more valuable than the time. But 12 to 50 hours a month worth of our time. So that's another $600 to $2,500 our own time. And then experience solving issues. So, this is kind of priceless. Like having somebody who actually understands Amazon and is fully dedicated to our business And this is how you find the unicorn, how you find the person who really knows what they're talking about. So dozens of hours a month, or hundreds or thousands of dollars just to handle basic tasks and follow up on cases. So the lowest level stuff in our account, like we didn't think that was worth it.
And this whole list, right? If you mess up, you pay it again. If you find somebody, train them, get them going, and you have to let them go, or they leave, or they have a family problem, it starts over. So it's not just this is per employee, per person. And if you can get your staff to be good enough to where they can train each other, well, then you've got a whole thing going. But I mean, to get from square one to there is difficult.
Yeah, and then you've got a team of people with the same skill set. So you've got a team of people solving the same issues.
Well, that works great for online arbitrage sourcing. But
yeah, good point. Yeah,
not for workflow teams.
So what's this crazy webinar offer for Chris? So you get everything we talked about. You get the problem solved. You get the account audit. You get the professionals. And you skip all of the expenses we just went through. And our standard price on our website is $597 a month for our basic level service, which is our OA and wholesale level service. But because it's a webinar, and because if anyone that's on this webinar, we're offering it for $497 a month. And what that offer is valid for the entire time you're with us. There's no long-term contracts. You're not locked in working with us. You're free to come and go as you want. We find that people stay with us when they're working with us because we want to add massive value to their business. And we would love to have you become a Seller Candy client and get to know you on the calls. So if you would like to take advantage of this offer, you have to head to the sign up link, which is signup.sellercandy.com/Chris. You complete the payment info. So, go through, it's a name, email, phone number. Then there's a select the option payment info. And then after that, it forwards you to the onboarding calendar. So you book a time in onboarding, anytime from Monday, we can get you on board with our service. Then a couple of days later, we go through the audit with you. So you can be up, live and up live and have your assistant working for you basically by the second or third day of next week, without skipping all of this hassle and stress and all the stuff that you get with hiring an employee.
The way you phrase that is a little strange. About get your assistant working for you. I would phrase it as get the team working on your tasks. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, get us working immediately, which is our aim. We want to be up and running with you as soon as possible, so we can be supporting.
For sure.
And that's it. Any questions? How can we serve you?
We do have some questions. You guys mind if I start reading them off?
Yeah, start reading them off. It's perfect.
All right, perfect. Let's let me make sure I get all of them here.
My Q&A won't open for some reason. I saw that John Johnson was here. Hey, John, I chatted to you before.
Nice.
What was the question?
So John says, hey guys, great to see you all. Wondering if you have any thoughts on Project Zero or Project Transparency. I'm hearing lots more folks are losing accounts because they don't have receipts directly from the manufacturer. Some say Amazon doesn't want to be eBay. They want more private label or manufacturers/brands selling direct to their customers.
Yeah, so with online arbitrage, transparency is something we got to watch out for. And it tends to be, it's a mixture, isn't it, really, of some small brands and then some very large brands going for it. What we're doing is we just want to keep our clients up to date with the latest news so that they can make smart decisions based on what's coming on Amazon. Because at the moment, transparency from the private label side is a way to remove all the resellers from your product. That's kind of why it was invented. So it's a pain for the manufacturer. It's something manufacturers don't want to do because they have to serialize every single one of their products, which is a real pain. But basically what we want to do is we want to keep our clients updated, in the loop, and we want to help educate when anything like this is happening. So we're actually launching a newsletter very soon that's going to keep our clients in the loop with all of this stuff.
Oh, that's great. Newsletters are.
What he's really asking is if the arbitrage business model is going to be viable in the future. It's sort of what he's asking. Based on the percentage of revenue resellers generate of Amazon's total, I don't think anything's happening soon. I think that they want to white glove service their favorite sellers and their preferred products, I don't think that they're going to give up billions and billions and billions of sales just like that.
I would have to agree. When Jeff Bezos comes out and says third party sellers are kicking our first party butt, it's kind of hard to think that they would kill the cow that's they're getting the milk from. And the other thing is, I mean, arbitrage has been around forever. I'm a huge nerd. Arbitrage actually goes all the way back to like the Sumerians, if we really look at history. And I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. Sure, could the platform change in 10 years? Maybe, but I think Amazon and all of them know that their bread and butter right now, especially for long tail items, are arbitrage sellers.
Yeah, I agree. And Amazon's not going to remove marketplace sellers at all, because that's one of their antitrust arguments. Like, they're not a monopoly because 60% of their products aren't sold by them. Like, they're not going to do that.
Exactly. The next question comes from an anonymous attendee. Which kind of reimbursement cases do you handle? Missing inbound, missing in warehouses, et cetera, and so on.
Yeah, I can take that one if you want, Brian. I mean, we do everything.
Sorry, I was just sneezing. If I got the question correctly, yeah, everything. So I think we just got one. I think we just got a missing one. We just completed a 130 unit missing shipment, and I think the payment was over $2,000 for one of our clients. We just completed that one. Of course, all the reimbursements for return reimbursements. And if anything's missing from a shipment, it means as easy as saying, here's the shipment. I got missing units. Let me know. That's, instead of going through the process of trying to figure it out and waiting for them to look for it, discover it, we're doing that. So you say, find the units. And then the end of that is, here's the money, or here's an option for you. So all types of reimbursements. That's like our favorite thing. I mean, nothing makes us happier than returning, saying it's done, and a dollar amount. So that's our favorite thing, especially our agents love that.
That's great. What kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go. I was going to,
okay.
I'll let you read the question.
What kind of access to accounts do you need in order to handle tasks?
So we have general permissions that we set for our management and then for our agents. And I could give you a list of them, but essentially it's for you. So if you don't need us to work on a particular area, you just turn that permission off and say, I don't want you to work on that. So we do have pretty broad general permissions to do the audit. We're looking through all your settings and everything, but it's really limited to what you want. So I can provide a list of what the settings we usually ask to turn on, but every customer is different. Some customers say, I don't care. Some say, I want to do every single one and I want to monitor it. So everyone's got their own security concerns, and we can, we're happy to work with, whatever makes you comfortable, because the access is a very touchy thing. So we're really delicate about that.
Nice.
Yeah, just to add to that, we also have a tiered system. So only management has high level access, and then the team is given access based on their level of competence on certain tasks. So our aim is
they'll be doing certain tasks.
Yeah, because they'll be doing certain tasks. So, for example, the highest level access is only achievable by me or Brian if we logged into that account at that time, because that's the account that then dictates the permissions to the other accounts. So we have a system internally.
Yeah,
and
my
also
personal identified account, management@sellercandy.com, is the only one that has the broad access.
Yeah.
So, and we could discuss that on our, personally with, as you join. So everyone's different.
Perfect. Wayne is curious regarding the 3 tasks at a time. If I have one specific game with 10 different themes and all are listed as IP violations, does this count as 1 or 10 cases?
It sounds like something I would say, John. I mean, I would say if you have one issue with a bunch of claims, especially as you're signing up for us and want us to tackle an issue, you can put that as in one case. But in a normal circumstance, if you were receiving one of those every periodically, it would be you'd either add a new case, or if you add it to the case. So if it's one product, that sounds like one case. So if it's a bunch of claims on the same product type thing, that sounds like one case. We're not looking to like hamstring you and aha, that's 3 cases. It's really just so that people don't overload us, because 3 actually is plenty. And I think that sounds like one case to me, unless it's something weird. But
yeah, as Brian says, we try and add massive value when we onboard. So if there's something that we need to catch up on, then we'll do our best to like bring those together when we're on board.
Yeah, the first thing we do is the audit and get the reimbursements, and then we try to knock out the biggest problem, because about half our clients come with some main issue that I want to get this done first, and then a bunch of other stuff that's important but not business existential. So that actually is quite common. So we could do a bigger task at the start, but for no problem.
Perfect. Let's get this one out of the way. Do you reinstate listings or accounts?
Listings, yes. Accounts, we can help. You need a lawyer or you need a specialist to get your account reinstated if it's suspended, but any listings, we can absolutely get your listings reinstated or work on them depending on the issue.
Yeah, figure out what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're reselling something, you just want to delete it. You don't want to reinstate it, but that depends on the issue.
Perfect. What do you think this equates to in monthly hours served per seller account?
Oh, Brian, you've gone very quiet.
Oh, have I? Can you hear me?
I know. Good now.
Okay. I'm just trying to think about, just trying to do a little math in my head.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's difficult to say because it depends on the client per month. And also, when you've got somebody who's a super skilled at doing something, they might be able to to do a task in an hour, which would take somebody all day if you were researching and figuring out how to do it. Mm-hmm. So it's very difficult to quantify, but yeah, that'd be a great number for us to include in our future presentations, because I'm sure we can work that out.
As an example about Amazon work. So in the morning, we might have a case, and then we submit documents or whatever the argument is to Amazon. And then there's 3 hours of downtime where there's no response. So how much time are they actually working on it, or how much time would one employee be spending to work on that particular issue? Maybe they're different answers. But it's really about the results. You can look at the result and say, how long would this take me? I don't know. But yeah, tough to answer.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Danny's curious. This is it is month to month, correct? You guys aren't into any long-term contracts or anything like that.
Yeah, just correct. Month to month. As Brian says, some people join us just to solve one issue, but they stay. Like our aim is for them to add, for us to add value to their business, their lives. And I don't think we've ever had anyone who's joined for one issue and actually left after the first month. But you can try and prove us wrong if you want to.
We've never had anyone leave after the first month, actually. Yeah. Ever. We've had someone leave after the second month. Yeah. I mean, if the business fits, if this business model fits for you, you'll know pretty quickly, and you'll be like, okay, I get it. And some people, they just ignore their accounts and let the sales go, and they're not a good fit. But we've definitely found a good fit clients for us so far. So yeah, we've been happy with that.
Do you guys handle any ungating at all?
So no, we don't handle ungating. But if you have the documentation, then we can submit it for you.
We can handle ungating, but we can't produce the documents that they're faking. So we're not going to Photoshop your documents. But if you have actual legit documents, of course, we'll beat Amazon over the head with them. So the answer is kind of yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Someone actually posted in FBA in our group FBA today. I felt really bad for that guy, and as I've heard of the people who do that for them, and I've railed against them publicly in the past.
Yeah, I saw your response to him. I was made me sad a little bit.
Yeah,
you're like, this is a serious issue, man. Shoot.
Yeah. And does the 100 ASINs need to be in one market, or can it be with different markets?
That's actually not, that's an anonymous attendee. It looks like they've gone to our Pro package and quoted a feature from the Pro package, which is software monitoring, but it only works for private label stuff. So it's not actually part of the basic. We don't include it in the basic because it's usually a waste of money.
Yeah, and you get like a million
so-
notifications.
Yeah. So for resellers and for wholesale, that question doesn't exactly apply.
Perfect. Shani is curious. Shani says, I still have a relatively small account, less than 200,000 a year in revenue. What does the account audit typically uncover? Just want to make sure that the expense is worth it for their business.
So 200K a year is kind of like on the edge, stroke just above where we think that someone's going to get value from our service. So we usually say 15K a month. If you're not doing 15K a month, you're probably not a good fit for us. In the audit, it really depends on number of SKUs you've got, what things you find in what things we find in your account. It could be FBA settings, it could be opportunities to improve listings, it could be many, many different things. The audit really is the value add. It's whether you have tasks and things you really want to get off your plate. Is whether we're going to work together long term. Is the way we see it. The audit is kind of the icing on the cake for us to find extra things for you when we start working together.
It depends. I mean, some people are brilliant, and we go in their account, and we're like, wow, this is exactly how we would have set it up. And some other people, we look inside and be like, this is charging you 20 cents a unit. This is getting you used, sold as new. There's all different issues that could be costing you money. Plus, get your reimbursements done. It's a pretty good little starter package in terms of what the first month will cost you and what we'll uncover. But for the 200K long term, are you growing? If you're not growing, or your plan is not to grow, then I don't think it makes sense to just add a charge when you have a business that's running flat. But if you want to either grow it or reduce your time, things like that, I would say, yeah, that's good for 200K, especially if you're planning to go more. I know that we said 15K is a good. We have some people who have 0 sales and they're launching and they want our consulting and they say, okay, how do I set this up? I got the sales tax thing done wrong. And so some people will just, without even revenue, use our service. So it really is up to the person. So, but for sustainable, fits in your budget, you're already doing it. Yeah, 200K sounds like you'd be on the line. So if you're really interested or whatever, you could try it and see how the audit goes and see how the tasks go. And if you love it, keep going. And if you don't love it, it costs you less than $500 to see. But that's what 1 month of a virtual assistant would cost you anyway. Just our headhunter charges us 1 month just to get the hire. And then you pay the first month, your 2 months just to get them to work untrained. So yeah, pretty cheap for to test it, I think. And you get the audit.
I'll take it, Brian. I'll take
me and John a bunch of questions. So I just like to say what I think. So we have a couple more questions here.
Yeah.
There is no cost on top of the monthly payment. Yeah, I see that one.
Perfect.
There is no cost, no.
All right, perfect. Nothing, no hidden fees, no hidden cell phone fees in there. Let's see here. I know it depends on various factors, but on average, are you guys able to say what % of sales you guys might get back from account reimbursement cases? That's an awful tough one. It varies so much. I just had one of my friends. They lost like 850 units. So for that person, you might get them back an absolute ton of money. And I'll be honest, in my own account, I don't think I've actually had much of anything lost this entire year. So I don't want to take the words out of your guys' mouth, but I'm sure you guys have more data than I do.
Our big clients make our reimbursements skew to more than $500 per client. But once we find the reimbursed stuff, 70% of them minimum, probably 90 plus, we'll get back. But I can't really. It really depends on your particular seller account because the amount of sales, the type of product could make the exact same sales. One person be chock full of issues. One person has no idea what they're talking about. I've never heard one issue. So it's really specific. I mean, yeah, we're averaging more than 500 per client, but then we do have one client that got $4,000 back because they have a couple different brands. So I'm just trying to give you kind of like a little bit of a ballpark about what it might be. But that'll be usually that's the first task people open. Catch me up. January until today, I want my reimbursements. And then our team loves that. So it could be found out quick, specifically to your situation, but it's hard to just ballpark it.
That's awesome. All right. Any other questions before I let these guys go and get on with their morning?
Get another coffee.
Today is 12/12 in Vietnam. So you know the Singles Day, Alibaba Singles Day, 11/11.
Yes.
There's now a 12/12.
Interesting.
They're just doing one a month. They're just doing one a month. It's crazy.
Do they have sales and all that kind of stuff going on for it?
Oh yeah. Apparently there's a load of sales on today. So
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to go check it out.
Is it
I think what they did is they took all the Black Friday stuff off the shelf for a week. Now they're shoving it all back on the shelf. Like literally doing that.
Interesting. That's smart. I mean, they absolutely. I mean, they crushed it on 11/11. Singles Day, absolutely huge. All right. Well, guys, I really appreciate you spending the time. And we got one more question. Let's do this one more, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Do we need to identify which reimbursement cases for you to handle, or can you find them by yourself?
Well, if you're talking about refund reimbursements, just tell us the months you want. If you want, like, let's say you lost a shipment, then you would tell us, oh, this shipment's gone, I want those reimbursed. But as far as the refund reimbursements that I was referring to earlier, no, just say, hey, January until today, and let me know. That's literally as much as you need to tell us.
Yeah, just to add to that,
find them all.
For the shipment reimbursements, we can do that. Oh, sorry to interrupt, Brian. For the shipment reimbursements, you can tell us audit my reimbursements for shipments that over 40 days, and we can go back in your account and look at all those. Because that's easy for us to do.
Right.
Like everything's been checked in. We can then follow up with you. Do you have the if there's documentation required, we need this documentation for this shipment, and then submit it for you. Yeah.
Perfect. I will add before I let these guys go that if you do decide to sign up with Seller Candy, I am going to throw in a 30, 45, 60-minute call if you want to hop on a call. If I can help you with anything, you guys are more than welcome to do that. So not only do you get their expertise, but I will help you with the things that I think I'm pretty good at. And I'll make sure that John and Brian have that link that they can share with you to sign up to have a half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, whatever might be good for you, just to help you with any OA or RA or any other issues that I think are in my wheelhouse. And just try to make it a little bit more valuable for you. So, but
huge bonus.
The link is in the chat. It's down below. And I know that a few people asked, will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. As soon as it gets all rendered and everything, I will get it pushed out onto the internets. And then I will have it in an inbox to you probably tomorrow or Sunday, so that anybody who may want to watch this over again has access to it. So John, Brian, I really appreciate you guys spending a little bit of it'll be your Saturday morning with us over here on Friday evening. And guys, I appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit of your Friday evening learning a little bit about Seller Candy. So any closing thoughts, fellas?
No, I just want to say we appreciate you a lot, Chris. Thanks for having us back again. And
yeah, we really do.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it, guys.
And that offer for your time is great.
Yeah, I love doing that. I love doing that. I get as much of it as I think everyone else does, because you get to bounce ideas off of people. This can be a lonely business, and being able to talk shop with folks who are actually interested instead of just kind of nodding while you're talking is fun. So, all right, guys, have a great Friday evening. I'll get a replay out very, very quickly. And again, thank you guys. I appreciate you taking the time doing this.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Take care, and we'll talk to you on onboarding if we see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.